Now, have you ever fancied travelling the world with just your backpack for company? Well, you're not alone. But what if you wanted to meet some like-minded travel companions along the way? Well, our next guest founded her travel firm, Flash Pack, after facing that dilemma.
The market for solo travel is booming, especially among 30 and 40-year-old singletons with disposable income.
Well, according to the UK travel body ABTA, nearly 1 in 6 Brits, that's 15% of the population, has travelled alone.
Despite safety worries, a TripAdvisor survey of more than 9,000 women showed that almost 3/4 had already travelled alone in 2015.
Well, Radha Vyas, have I said that right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is co-founder and chief executive of Flash Pack. She runs a firm with her husband. Nice to see you. Welcome to the programme.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with how it all began, because we touched there on a little bit of your story about, you know, a terrible travel experience, and you thought, look, there's got to be a better way of doing this. How did it all come about?
Yeah, well, I was single in my 30s and, like many people, working long hours and feeling a bit overwhelmed and just really needed some adventure and fun in my life. And for the first time, I couldn't find anyone to go on holiday with me. And being in my 30s, a lot of my friends were settling down, getting married or busy with their own careers. And a friend said to me, I should go on a group tour. And this is the first time the concept really came on my radar. I didn't even know what a group tour was. I just didn't know there was something like that available for someone my age. So I was quite intrigued. I'd always travelled solo and I was kind of craving some company. So I started researching a little bit more and realised that the mass group tour companies were predominantly catering to young budget backpackers with maybe a focus on partying, or the more luxurious tours were catering to the 65 plus market. And I suppose I was something in between. I wanted adventure and a dynamic itinerary, but I wanted a boutique hotel at the end of the day.
The problem is, though, the expense, isn't it? If you're travelling solo, you pay the single room supplements, and suddenly your trip can get incredibly expensive. How does what you set up deal with that, if at all?
Yeah, I really understand it from both sides, because it does feel a little bit like discrimination if you're a solo traveller, but equally the hotels need to earn a certain margin, and I suppose if you were renting out a room on Airbnb, for example, you wouldn't expect to have half the rent if a single person was renting from you. So what we do is we don't enforce a single supplement at all, and we give you a chance to share a room with somebody you'd get on with, and so you get to really experience really nice hotels and share the cost with somebody.
And when you're travelling around the world, as we touched on there, it's about meeting like-minded people. So it's sort of not solo travel in some respects, is it? Because once you're out there, you're with a group. But how do you make sure that you find a like-minded group of people? Because as you said, there are so many different interpretations of what a holiday is or could be. How do you make sure that you've got similar people on these tours?
Well, we only cater to people in their 30s and 40s, and 90% of our customers come on their own, solo. A couple of people come with a friend, but most people come on their own, and most people are single, they're busy professional at the same life stage, so they've already got a lot in common. Everyone's up for an adventure and up for meeting new people, so you know the probability that you're going to get on with everyone is high.
We talked as well about sort of, you know, experiences, and we've been asking people to send us their highs and their lows. It strikes me the world is a much, much smaller place now, isn't it? There's most places you can go, most things you can do. Is there still somewhere on your list that you've not ticked off, or there's somewhere you just couldn't offer a tour right now? I mean, I'm thinking places, you know, Burma, North Korea.
North Korea.
Yeah. But still there's demand. People want to go there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did actually start off the company by offering really cutting-edge destinations like Sierra Leone. My husband and I are both really well travelled, and we've been to over 100 destinations between us, but there are still so many places I want to go. I'd love to go to South Korea. I'd love to go to Iran. There are still places in South America that I'd like to explore, and North America. But there are a few places that we do avoid just because of the risk. Like, I'd love to do hiking in North Korea, but it's just not possible right now.
We've been asking for people to share their travel highs and lows. We have some fantastic ones, and with some photos as well. Maria sent us a photo of her with a koala. Says, without doubt, that was her highlight, cuddling this beautiful little thing in Australia. Meanwhile, Sarath Babu says, most memorable trip was over at the edge of the Moon Valley in the Leh Ladakh region, which we'd call paradise on Earth. So lots of people sharing their
Yeah, and there's some similar themes that you've touched on there as well. Philip says travelling solo lets you to be a version of yourself that you never knew. So it's about that idea of discovery, doesn't it? Jeff says the high, it's much easier to meet new people. I imagine that's what you're going for with your business. The low, though, sometimes it can be lonely and you don't get to share the memories with someone. So I suppose it's about creating a new social circle, isn't it? And do you find that a lot of people stay in touch after they've done a trip?
Oh, so many people stay in touch. And I think when you're backpacking alone in your 20s, you stay in hostels and it's really easy to meet other solo travellers. If you're in your 30s and 40s, you might want to stay in hotels and it's kind of harder to meet people. And I suppose that's when a group tour situation comes onto people's radars and they start researching our company. What we're finding really interesting is that people do stay in touch for long periods of time. We've had a couple of people who've become housemates in London after meeting on on our adventures. We have now launched these mini experiences all across London. We're about to launch in New York, where you can experience a Flash Pack adventure in one day, join a Jordanian supper club, for example, in a chef's home, and meet other like-minded people. And we are seeing customers using that as an excuse to meet each other again.
Any marriages yet?
I was going to say, you need your first marriage. Yeah.
No, not about matchmaking.
No pressure, no pressure.
Okay. They could get
Really nice to see you.
Thanks
for coming in.